it is time for Operation Move That Guy there. Now, you might think that sounds a little bit silly to move this thriving Tamarillo tree there, but I have my reasons. Okay, reason number one, he's very prone to wind damage. Exhibit A. Broke my heart, and it's not the first branch to go. So at the moment he's sitting at probably about 60% of the tree that he once was, which is heartbreaking. I am so excited about these Tamarillos. One of the best pieces of advice that my mum gave me when I started the garden, you know, however many years after we moved in here, was to plant things that you love to eat, not just things that other people plant, but also to plant things that you either cannot buy easily or cannot buy cheaply. And passion fruit, definitely one. Tamarillos, hot on their tail. So once this beautiful, beautiful thing gets established and reaches water and all those other things, by all rights, it should become a huge, big shade tree. It's got these wonderful, giant, tropical looking leaves, and produces absolutely, totally and delicious fruit. So hope you're going to be okay, buddy. Like, really sturdy. Like, this isn't my first time trying to grow one of these. And I'm very nervous about moving it, but as I say, it's only going to get bigger, and it is so prone to wind damage, so I need to bring him out of there and provide him with a home closer to the ground and a bit of protection. Hopefully he gets to be a big giant tree, and hopefully we get loads and loads of fruit. Guess time will tell. Ta-da! Okay, it's been a little while since I've dug a hole that big, to be honest. So what I've done is I've tried to dig it far larger than our Tamarillo is going to need. I've purposefully plopped it, kind of hoping for sort of some centre feeling between the orange tree and the strawberry garden. Yes, I'm aware I'm going to have to trim that orange tree back a wee bit, but in this corner here we've got this beautiful one and his buddy. So I certainly shan't be trimming it until the Tamarillo tree needs me to. And of course I want the fruit from those branches, so waste not, want not. What I've done here is I've tried to dig it larger than the Tamarillo is going to need, and that's just so that the soil around the root ball is nice and loose. So once I've plopped him in there, he'll have a little bit of loose soil to easily get the roots into, and same underneath. So if I just grab my spade, shovel. I live with an engineer, so this shovel is my spade. I've just gone a wee bit further down than I need to as well, and just left that loose soil in there. Next thing I'm going to do in lieu of fertilizer is actually put a bit of bark in there as well. So put a bit of that in before I really get digging. Great photography, Ella. And that will just give this guy a bit of, I guess, nutritional value to soak up, because he's about to be moved and I don't have any feed. Not 100% sure what professionals would recommend for something like this for feed. Usually I just put citrus food on just about anything. Anything that tastes acidic will benefit from citrus food. So your strawberries, passion fruit, most berries, obviously any citrus trees, feijoas, pomegranates. I'm trying to think of what I've got in the garden. Yeah, just about anything will benefit from a bit of citrus food. But yeah, let's get this guy out of the ground. Don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit nervous. So just taking a quick look in here, I've actually just transplanted that pineapple sage there a couple of days ago. He wasn't allowed to stay where he lived because putting a shed there. So I'm going to have to move the rocks, obviously, and probably sacrifice a couple of strawberry plants. That's fine. I'll just pop them back in, and likelihood is they will be fine. Yeah, I'll get going and I'll show you the root ball once I've dug one out. So just taking a good look in here, obviously have to move some rocks. It's such a sturdy, look at that. She's thick. Well, now she's a she. I'm gonna have to remove this. I've just taken the cord off it. I've That was the stake that I originally put in to give some rigidity to the original plant when it was much smaller. As you can see, it's well outgrown that now. So I will get digging and I'll show you guys once I've gotten some kind of root ball. The Tamarillo tree tomato, according to the internet, I did some pre-googling a while ago, is actually a nightshade, so potentially has a taproot. And a tree this size, no idea how big that taproot will be. So again, I'll dig them out and take a look-see. Alrighty then. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've just sort of dug a circle around the bottom of the trunk there. The initial strike with the spade sort of gave me an indication of where was going to be good, as in how far out from the trunk. And I think I'll be right in that it is some kind of taproot. If I just wiggle my spade a wee bit, then you can see there is some movement, but definitely seems to go down more than out. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be interesting pulling them out. I really hope that this doesn't result in ultimate disaster. But if you watched my feed jar video, you'll see notes at the end, and I actually put the notes at the end of this video as well. But basically, now is the best time to be moving things if you're going to be moving things. So many things I would have done differently. No, because of the nature of the soil he's come out of, it's quite porous. It was never going to hold together. Usually when I'm relocating things, I will try to leave their roots as intact as possible. I'm really pleased to see that much of a root ball on it though. Not pleased to see that damage, a bit gutted about that. But here's hoping all is well. He looks like a good size to fit his hole. I might just make it a wee bit deeper before I pop him in there, and maybe even actually a little bit wider. Oh, I've just leaned him up against there. I'm so nervous about snapping some leaves off. This is probably a two-person job in retrospect, but nonetheless, here we are. Oh, look, little self-seeded tomatoes. I know, it's halfway through April. I don't get it either, but we'll see what happens. Excellent, so that took a little bit of digging and placing and redigging. I've decided which way I want the tree to be facing, which way I want his branches, and I've made the whole custom fit for this guy. Probably doesn't look like the way he's sitting in there now, but this will be wonderful. So I hope you like your new home, buddy. Alrighty, he's in. Hopefully he stays this happy. Feels really good. So nice and solid in there. I haven't stomped it down too much. I'll let my water do that. What I've done with my gumboot is just make a bit of a moat kind of around it, which I'll continually fill with water until I'm satisfied. And what I didn't show you was that I did fill the hole with water before I put him in. So yeah, he'll get a nice drink. Hopefully it won't be too much of a shock to the system. Roots weren't out of the ground for too long, which is really important. And how I've planted him, some would argue, is an archaic method now. What I've done is I placed the roots into the hole and obviously put dirt around it, lifting it as I went. So his roots will probably end up facing down. Hopefully that makes sense. Sort of, even if you put them in like that, once you've put dirt on and pulled the guy up, they go like this. His roots and his original hole were sort of a combination of down and sideways. There's a lot of sort of thought and theory out there now that shows that the majority of plants, or at least this is what Monty Don taught me, one of my favorite gardeners. Actually, shout out to Monty Don. He has a wonderful TV show called Big Dreams, Small Spaces. Excellent television, highly recommend. Very informative, really fun to watch, and he's just super English. It's really fun. So he tells you that instead of roots wanting to be like this, nowadays they reckon they plant them more like that. So going out into the world. Look at this. You're doing a great job there, Imogen. Alright, time to get this looking pretty. Look at that water. That water just cascading off that. Freaking beautiful. Size of that leaf. Oh, yeah. I love it. I'm so in love with this tree. And I'm really hoping that he likes his new home. I've made him, I don't know if you can see because it's a bit wet, but I've made him a bit of a an actual moat, like all the way around with the bark. So hopefully that helps to capture his water for him. I know these trees love a whole lot of water. And you know what? It's actually nice to be able to look him in the eye, having him down here. Can see 3 really nice, substantial openings, and I'll probably pinch them out and try and encourage some growth. Although you can see there's a couple bits that tell me there's going to be some nice other branches happening as well. I'm really gutted about that one that came off. Would have been a really cool shaped tree otherwise. But yeah, there's our beautiful Tamarillo tree, a little bit more protected now that he's kind of eye height with the fence as well. And if I step back, I'm going to provide him with some protection just nearby this trench that we're using as garden edging currently. As for the strawberry garden, it's fine. I didn't even need to move any of the strawberries, which worked out quite well. And as it is, I mean, gosh, you know, that one's thrown a baby, that's now that one that's gone off here, that's also over here and gone around here, and goodness knows what else. So, I mean, they're strawberries, they'll spread, won't they? This blueberry bush has looked sick ever since I put the Tamarillo in there. Likely the poor Tamarillo was just sucking up all the nutrients, so it'll be interesting to see if that does anything. If you look closely, there is tiny little bits of newish looking growth, which it didn't have all summer. So you've got a baby bunny. It's not real, don't worry. So yeah, hopefully, all in all, this will be a happy transition for everyone involved. Especially me when I'm eating Tamarillos. Yum, yum, yum. Tropical, beautiful. I'm actually in love with this tree. It's my favourite thing in the garden at the moment, by far. I almost couldn't have timed that more perfectly. His first night in the ground was a success. His first night in the ground was also a night of torrential rain. So, been really well watered in. No obvious damage that wasn't there before. Obviously, I didn't point this out yesterday, but the leaves have some pretty severe wind damage. So we will leave them on there, obviously, no pun intended, because they are helping this guy to photosynthesize to his maximum capacity. But potentially a couple of the bottom leaves that not only are wind damaged but are starting to yellow, I might take those off. Not today though. But I'm really happy with this. I really hope that he likes his new home. I'll probably be putting a stake in there, like something quite substantial, to tie his main trunk to. But I'm so happy with this. I'm so excited to hopefully have an abundance of Tamarillos that I can share with all my friends and family, and hopefully maybe even learn how to propagate some of these beautiful trees myself. I could have an absolute orchard of these. I love them, absolutely love this tree. As always, thank you for watching, and I will endeavour to do another video down the line that will show this guy's growth in his new spot. You'll see me trim that orange tree back when the time is right, and yeah, hopefully into fruiting. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to do a little bit of research to make sure that I do maximize what I get out of this little tree, but also maximize his enjoyment of life as well.